Geez, these pictures are crazy. Killing of a kid because Shulk has a kid. Okay. This is one of the tries. Okay, hold on, let me back. 1, 2, 3. The harder try is even scarier. Of course, it has to be a little bit tiny. Okay, here's 1, 2, leading into a try. Let's set the camera. Yep, that one's good. Tiny face next to like a dead kid is pretty crazy. I don't know what the heck that's about. This one right here is crazy because there's all these borderlines. Remember, there's borderlines to new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they have these artworks, right? This is Ray. That's Ray. It's kind of funny. That's this one's Uni. It's so creepy, but it's like it's funny because you'd be surprised how much competition I have on my plate. Okay. Those were disturbing. Those are highlights. This one's good. That's a good shadow. It's a try shadow. Even this one's good. This one's getting into how crazy it can get. See, it's showing like 1, 2 tail into a face. It's showing creativity. It's like it's pretty evil. This one's cool when it comes to backgrounds, because whenever I think about backgrounds in video games, or like how they can project something, how they can take something. So they're using duality, of course, because they're going to use a try kind of method. But Zelda's all about, let's talk about leg up, so it's also about Shadow of Colossus. And there's this thing in Shadow of Colossus that's really crazy, really absurd. And I guess they use secrets in Shadow of the Colossus by like their tile, like of the map. So how like they're gonna show you something. So it's gonna be like like a pop out kind of thing. Both the secrets are creepy because they just keep going together. That's what makes them so beautiful and so amazing. And 1, 2, it's like you would never think that when you're seeing a video game, you would never think to yourself that you're gonna see something that's like like life changing. But yeah, video games have a secret that basically you see it and it's life changing, and then your whole entire life's changed around, and you're just like, oh, video games can go far. Oh. And then everything that you realize, everything that you do, everything that's a spot of time, whatever you tried to do with your life, you realize to yourself, you're just like, oh, okay. So apparently there's more than I know, that kind of thing. She's so crazy, isn't she? She's so crazy. Shantae's insane. Yeah, Shantae's crazy. Shantae, devil, because her last letter of her name, ends with an E. I mean, it's perfect for everything, really. Lady Gaga, Shantae attacks you with the hair, so she takes her hair and attacks you with hair. Bras are always crazy. You can always easily find a bra like this. Phantom Hourglass, right? It's like, what the heck, man? Phantom Hourglass. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, that's cool. This shape right here, this one has a decent shape. Wow. Breaking down shapes is very hard to do, though. it's devil, basically. Devil's creepy in like a way of like you messed up. So it's like kind of like a way you messed up and you just have to deal with it and you messed up. Is it as scary how we're seeing this again? Because we were watching the Crash Bandicoot stuff and now we're looking at like right here, you know? Um, I think I'd scream too. I would scream also if I knew um, I'm not in a good position. You know, like I'm not in a good position, which also leads to the conclusion of if you're not in a good position. I mean, normally you think you'd lose the fight, right? But just because you're in a bad position does not mean that you're not, motivated to live or something. Like you're motivated at that moment to be like, I want to live. One, two, three. Jeez. Wow, right? Wow. What are we supposed to think, right? Ishtar, Spirit Bomb, right? Well, what should you think with that one? This one, I kind of would think the perverted way. I think the perverted way is crazy, but it does make sense. BP is like Baphomet is just like a crazy illustration, And I think the reason I think this way with this one is that you can definitely get yourself in a spot like this. I don't know why people get in spots like this too. Like there's also the disgusting part of. I mean, TS is not really that people don't break down TS. People are either scared, nervous to break down TS scenarios. Like a scenario of a transgender. A seam is pretty crazy. Seams are not supposed to be like the thought of a fake seam, like a female, like a transgender that's trying to be female having a fake seam, using as a prop. It's pretty much like a thing that you could get from that. The crazy thing about this too is it's also talked about the 1990s yin yang and the toys, and which is probably even before 1980s. The finger, the conjoinment of your fingers. A 13-year-old toy, that's exactly why Ishtar and Demi Kids is right here. So it's like a 13-year-old toy. Popping the cherry, no, because every time you play ranked and you're playing against the Rainmaker, you're popping a cherry. Yeah, it's all this stuff's gonna be very crazy. I already know this stuff's gonna be like, what the heck? It's gonna be like, what the heck again? I like how this one looks. This one right here, because I knew the Shadow of Colossus stuff was around. So also, as much as I want to look at this as Yu-Gi-Oh and everything, there's also a part where I could look at it like Shadow of the Colossus. And there's a picture I showed before where Uni's hovering, which is disgusting because Uni's supposed to be like you'd think with Uni would just be one subject, one story, but no. Uni apparently likes to make fun of everything, anything it can think of, and basically that makes what's creepy is it just makes complete sense because Sonic just has to have that emerald that he has in his hands, and it's like, geez, and then you put in together that Sonic just has a ton of games. That is a good tiny one right there. That one right there. Let's see how we'll zoom in on it. That one's good. That's actually good. That's another highlight. Looking at females, that's another argument too, is looking at vulvas, looking at females, the ideas that or like when a person wants to, break down and make something that's important. And then we can end with another highlight, believe it or not. We can end with this one right here. See this one right here? This one's disturbing. I like how disturbing it is, because if you look at the effects of it, look at the effects down below of how the effects of that is. That reminds me of Mario 64, and it's pretty crazy. Maybe it's to connect you better with Xenoblade, Pokemon Z, because there's a Z. There's obviously a Z right there also. But yeah, it connects me with of course it connects me most with the Mario 64 stuff. The Pokemon route is always, whenever I think about Pokemon's still going back to Mario 64. And the Demi-Kid stuff is a crazy one. Demi-Kids is it's very, very good art. Just very, very good art. That's art that you can always, go back and look at. It's cool how this one's positioned. See how this is? This 1, 2. See how that's positioned? That one's good. Do y'all remember every Shadow of Colossus tree has fruit, and it's like hanging fruit and all kinds of things? They have all kinds of crazy things that they put in Shadow of Colossus. And they put a lot of insane stuff. It's crazy that even like when they're putting like a placement, see, this is a placement for a weapon. But it's crazy how they place it right there, and then you're just like, oh gosh, it does not look like a peaceful picture, you know what I'm saying? It kind of has some Wind Waker stuff to it. It has a bunch of crazy things. And Wind Waker is just a brutal video game. That's a very brutal video game. That's a game, everybody asks for that game on Nintendo Switch, because the reason is that's a good game. That game overall is a game that you go to a spot in the game. It doesn't matter if you feel uncomfortable or comfortable or whatever, you're going to have to go to that spot. And these are all the right here. This is what's crazy about this picture. This picture loves, see how it just loves showing a bunch of tiny specks everywhere? Well, it likes to show tiny specks, and then it shows something like that, which is just so crazy. That thing right there is pretty insane. But it likes showing just a bunch of tiny specks to let people know how just because something's tiny does not mean that they can't, do something that's like, what the fudge. And this is kind of like an expand method. See that right there? That's like an expand method. And that's like some... Crash Bandicoot, Shadow of Colossus. Expand is very absurd. It's very demented too. That you think about Shadow of Colossus, you think about Mario 64, and then you think about like YouTubers. There's even a YouTuber right now tonight that posted a video, and they're like, "Oh, I need to join on this train. This is the train I need to join on." But like it's like, careful what train you join on, why you want to join on that train. If it was up to me and I was to tell people, I would say with Concord, you're getting a very good experience in Concord, and just be happy that you're actually getting a good experience as opposed to a first-person shooter that would not give you a good experience. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, that's the thing about it. And then there's a hangar. That's a side. There's the side, right? So that's why I was talking about all the tiny objects around it. He's too good of a character in Concord, basically. You know what I'm saying? He's just way too good of a character. But, like some people have probably played enough video games. You get what I'm saying? So that's why, like, another thing is you can't just be like, oh, this is the conclusion I want to jump to. Well, there's a lot of video games. There's a ton of video games to play. So it's kind of like, calm yourself down, dude. Not everybody's going to play every single video game. If you play every single video game, you're going to have bad health. you're gonna have bad things that will happen. You'll just, and I like how that looks. I do. I like how that looks for a shadow. See that? There has to be like Ray Shadows is really messed up because Ray Shadows is such a mean thing from a cartoon to say to you about Ray Shadows, and you'd be like, what the heck is Ray Shadows? And the spots, see how this looks like boobs? This looks like a belly button and boobs, but there is spots, there's details on objects, on, like many different things. You want to put them on objects, stone, right? Rock Village, just many things you want to do. All their stuff that they say is disgusting, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All their stuff, if you were to really wanting to know how amazing video games are, almost everything that I hear from video games is just like, it's just like, what? That's awesome. That's all. That's everything that I listen to from video games of their blatancy. They're just like amazing, 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 amazing again. They're so good that Lifetime pays attention to it. Here's a 1, 2, 3. Here's a 1, 2, 3. Coco. Ew, right? Just Dark Magician Girl was crazy. Yes, Toon Dark Magician Girl, that was very insane. And I've heard so many things about Toon Dark Magician Girl that just does not sound very pleasant. You know what I mean? And like people said that they had something that it was hard to record it. That's really creepy down there too, of course. Side order, Uni side order. Yes, Uni. You're looking at Uni's legs, Uni's whole armor set when she does her transformation stuck together thing. Her whole armor set is very scary. Just a very scary armor set. And that's before you even go and meet up with X. So before you go and meet up with X, you have this idea that Uni's gonna basically, because there's the trailers and all that. So you're just like, what the heck is this about? What is this? What is that? Xenoblade 3's DLC, when he's just blatantly doing his floating and hovering, the creator, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, kind of thing. When he's doing that stuff, he means business, and he's doing it with a different color, which is kind of disturbing. What the heck does that mean, right? What does that actually mean? Because he has a different color. So it's not like the color that I know of in Shadow of Colossus. It's like a different color. So I'm like, what the heck with that, right? 1, 2. Yeah. So if we use her leg theory, once again, we use her leg theory, okay? Easy way to get into boobs, right? But also easy way to get into BP. Yeah. Easy way to get into try. And try, yeah, I wanted to end it with try. I know I wanted to end it with try. I like ending it with try. 1, 2, 3. So what do I think? Me, what do I think? Seeing a Mario 64 secret, and then, seeing that they're going to have a video game that blatantly just shows try. Blatantly try is in a Zelda game, which is pretty crazy because that's like, that's like a huge cross gap, right? See, this right down here, 1, 2. This is like sad face, crazy stuff. Like this is Sonic the Hedgehog, all kinds of crazy stuff right there, okay? But what do I think? Personally, I'm like, wow, this is a Zelda game I actually want to play. And I have, I have just nothing but I want to play the Zelda game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like a rational thought not to purchase the Zelda game. That's what's so scary about it. I don't have a rational thought that makes me say, huh, I don't know if I want to play Zelda, or I don't want to, if I want to take a break from, but like basically Zelda just has that idea. Seeing more of this is pretty crazy too. This one too. Um, Makes me pay attention to more of stuff around here. But like, okay, so it's cool how it can just stare. It's just a stare. Very creepy. It gets us more into our things down there. That's like slow. That down there. The more that you go down, the slow. Because there's nowhere to go but down. Because you're slow. You're slow. You're not even really supposed. That's what's so creepy, is seeing something that's actually disturbing. You know what I'm saying? Seeing something that's actually like, what the heck's going on here? And that moment happens in Xenoblade because it's an idea that why are you by X, right? Why out of all the Xenoblade games, why specifically did they just have to walk into X, right? So they're right next to X, and that is definitely a slow moment because there's really nothing you can do, and you're trying to think of something that you can do, but you can't do anything, and that's why they end up getting captured. And the funny thing that's so creepy about a video game is they don't want them to get captured and show some other things, Okay, there's 1, 2 right there. This is Pyra stuff. But so it's the idea of you got captured. And if you did, people don't have fair opinions on Xenoblade 2, but if you actually play Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 2 definitely just is an easy thing to tell you how slow you really are. Because Pyra easily spells slow. Rex, he's slow. He's a kid. He's not developed. He's a kid. Poor his dang stupid friend, that Master Pawn and Poppi, and Master Pawn, and you learn that Master Pawn's a little bit of a pervert, so he's already slow. So it's almost like all the choices are very crazy. I mean, what you're forming an alliance with somebody that's not really that fast, And if you play the Xenoblade 2 fight, we're gonna end it after this though, because you can get all day of Xenoblade 2. But if you decide you want to go, let's go with there's a lot of complicated fights. But how about the fight where you just first meet up with Zeke, and Zeke is like trying to jump you, but then it's kind of like crazy because this is not like Pokemon Team Rocket, This is like Zeke is like trying to jump you kind of, and the whole spot and the whole place that you're wandering around, and then you go all the way up to go and meet Zeke, and then Zeke is, that whole thing's crazy. That thing is insane. And I was like, geez, even though he ends up becoming your friend, I mean, he's still like, he's still Zero, Zeo, Zeo. He's still like an example of Zeo, and, hopeless, and like, you wander around too much and you meet a demon. And the magical thing about like Skyrim, is like that if you wander too much in Skyrim, you're gonna get destroyed. If you wander way too much into Skyrim and then you like decide to go up to something, you're dead. Yeah. You have a good one, Bastida. See ya.